let's all introduce ourselves. Welcome back. Happy New Year. It's really exciting to have everyone here. And we have our special guest today, Tony, and he lives in New York. So I'll have Srinidhi, why don't you introduce yourself and then just, little blurb, and then it's just going to be open-ended with a few questions, answers, and stories, whatever, we'll just let it flow today. Okay.
Hi, my name is Trinity. I live in Colorado. I'm 13 years. I'm in 7th grade.
Yeah.
I play the flute.
Nice.
And what about the little one next to you?
My name is Renika, and I'm in 1st grade, and I'm 7, and I played the violin.
Nice. Do you play together, violin and the flute?
No,
No.
she just started.
And Srinidhi is quite accomplished. We have to show a video of her one day. She's really good.
I look forward to hearing it. Yeah.
Meher, you want to go next?
Hi, I'm Meher. I live in Connecticut. I'm in 6th grade and I'm 11 years old. And I also play the violin.
Nice. I remember when I was in 6th grade. It was a good time. Yeah.
All right, Soham.
Hi, my name is Soham. I'm 14 years old. I'm in 8th grade and I play tuba
And
piano.
okay, Sahana.
Musicians here. I'm with my people.
Sahana, your turn.
Yeah.
Introduce yourself and let's see your face.
Okay. Wait, what do I say?
About yourself.
Okay.
How
Well,
old
I play an instrument.
Uh-huh.
What
is
grade are you in, Sahana?
I'm in 5th grade.
Okay. And what do you play?
I play the drums, so basically percussions and also bells.
Oh,
So-
nice. I'm learning the drums. You want to see my drum kit?
Oh, wow, that is cool.
I bought that from, if you guys know Cliff Hackford.
Yes.
When he was leaving New York, he was selling a lot of his older stuff. And I got a really nice drum kit. And I just got brand new cymbals for it. You can't really tell, it's dark there.
Oh, we need to have a
But
tournament.
next year I want to switch to clarinet. So
Clarinet sounds like fun. I want to learn clarinet, but I've got so many instruments here already. We'll see.
Hi, Tina. How are you?
Yeah, I had to check in and see what Tony was talking about.
Yeah, please join us. If you want to introduce yourself real quick again, I know most of the kids have met you already, and then we'll
Yeah,
keep going around.
my name's Tina, and I live in New York City. I don't know what else you want me to say.
Well, your claim to fame, Tina. We've all seen that movie.
Well, yeah, I've done a lot of movies, but I did do a movie called Sister Act,
Yeah.
which has been a very popular movie, I find out.
We were really excited when we were like, I'm like, look, Sahana, we know Tina.
Yeah.
One of the most fun movies ever made.
It was a lot of fun.
It really
And-
is fun.
And I didn't realize the impact it had until I had the 25th reunion of the movie on The View, and there were 500 people dressed like nuns in the street greeting us, singing the songs, and I mean it's just very popular. And we didn't know.
Yeah. Amma, you want to introduce yourself?
I'm Dr. Jayshree from Hyderabad.
Hi,
I
James.
want to see you all and listen
Hi.
to you. Yes, Tony.
And what time is it? 2 a.m.?
Oh, wow.
Oh my God, a night person.
Hold on, I'm getting a phone call.
Alright.
For Baba and to see you all anything.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
They just went back to India, so I think the jet lag helps a little bit too. So Tony, without further ado, should we jump into our program?
Yes, yes.
Should I start sharing the screen since we do the prayers? Oh, so guys, we're going to start with a special way. Tony wanted to start the prayers with you guys. So should we do that first?
Yes.
Absolutely, I do that. Sorry, that was my bad.
Okay, let me just oh, I see. Okay, so I've loved the prayers for as long as I've known them. I actually first heard the Parvardagar prayer a few months after I came to Baba in 1970 at a Monday night meeting in New York, and the guest speaker happened to be Harry Kenmore, Dr. Kenmore, and I didn't know him. I didn't know anything about him. I was new to Baba, but I knew who Baba was. And Kenmore came up, and he was a blind man, and he set up at the podium. And I was sitting like here, and there's a wall there, and there was a picture of Baba, with a very compassionate picture of Baba off there. And Kenmore was in front, and he starts to say the prayer, and no one ever said that prayer like Harry did. Baba used to have him recite the two prayers whenever he was in India. He called him his priest and would call him up. And he said that the way he says the prayer goes straight to the seventh plane, to God. But it began something like this: "Oh, Parvatiga, the preserver and protector of all, you are without beginning and without end." That kind of energy. And I'm just doing a caricature. And I wanted to laugh. And I knew it would be really wrong to laugh, but I felt nervous and weird. And I bit the inside of my cheeks so that I wouldn't laugh. But and I looked at Baba's picture like saying, "Help me, help me, help me." But about halfway through, I felt Baba lifting me up so high with that prayer. And so I've loved that prayer since then. And but a month or so ago, Elena and I take some quiet time at night before she goes to bed. And lately it became just saying prayers. And instinctively, I started including Baba's name in the prayer. The prayer can seem very abstract. But when you say it to Baba, it takes on, at least for me, a whole different energy and a whole different feeling. And so what I'm going to say is the way we say the prayers at night: the Parvardagar, repentance, not just these three. It's about 10 minutes altogether. The Parvardagar, repentance, beloved God, one that Erich used to say, "I am not the body, I'm not the mind." Oh, good. Let me see my notes. Maybe I can leave them out. That'll help me. One that Baba wrote for Harry, on behalf of Harry. "May thy will be done, O perfect one." Another one that was something that Baba wrote to Harry that I've just turned as a prayer to Baba. And finally, the prayer that Adi wrote: "Beloved God, help us. Beloved Meher Baba, bless us all." But in them, through all, they'll be a little bit longer than usual because I'm going to be saying Baba's name through the whole thing. And I'm going to close my eyes so I don't get distracted from the prayer.
So Tony, I think I'm going to ask everyone to, as you say it, try to say it in their heads too. Just let's do it differently, right? So it'll be really cool. And then we can talk about how it made us feel at the end. You guys up for that? Yeah? All right, go ahead, Tony.
Avatar Meher Baba Ki Jai. O Parvardigar Baba, the preserver and protector of all, Baba. You are without beginning and without end, Baba. Non-dual, Baba, beyond comparison, and none can measure you, Baba. You are without color, without expression, without form, and without attributes, Baba. You are unlimited, Baba, and unfathomable, beyond imagination and conception, Baba, eternal and imperishable. Baba, you are indivisible, and none can see you but with eyes divine. You always were, Baba. You always are, Baba, and you always will be, Baba. You are everywhere, Baba. You are in everything, Baba. And you are also beyond everywhere and beyond everything, Baba. You are in the firmament, Baba, and in the depths. You are manifest, Baba, and unmanifest on all planes and beyond all planes. Baba, you are in the three worlds and also beyond the three worlds. You are imperceptible and independent, Baba. You, Baba, are the creator, the Lord of Lords, Baba, the knower of all minds and hearts, Baba. You are omnipotent, Baba, and omnipresent. You are knowledge infinite, Baba, power infinite, and bliss infinite, Baba. You are the ocean of knowledge, Baba, all-knowing, infinitely knowing, the knower of the past, the present, and the future. And you, Baba, are knowledge itself. Baba, you are all merciful and eternally benevolent. You are the soul of souls, Baba, the one with infinite attributes. You are the Trinity, Baba, of truth, knowledge, and bliss. You are the source of truth, Baba, the ocean of love, Baba. You are the ancient one, Baba, the highest of the high, Baba. You are Prabhu, Baba, and Parameshwar, Baba. You are the beyond God, Baba, and the beyond God also, Baba. You are Parabrahma, Baba, Paramatma, Baba, Allah, Baba, Elahi, Baba, Yazdan, Baba, Ahura Mazda, Baba, God Almighty and God the Beloved, Baba. You are named Izad, Baba, the only one worthy of worship, Baba. Om Parabrahma Paramatma, Baba. Ya Yazdan, Baba. La ilaha illallah, Baba. O God, Baba. Father, Baba, in heaven. We repent, Baba. O God, Baba, most merciful, Baba, for all our sins, Baba. For every thought, Baba, that was false or unjust or unclean, Baba. For every word spoken, Baba, that ought not to have been spoken, Baba. And for every deed done, Baba, that ought not to have been done, Baba. We repent, Baba, for every deed and word and thought inspired by selfishness, Baba. And for every deed and word and thought inspired by hatred, Baba. We repent most especially for every lustful thought, Baba, for every lustful action, Baba, for every lie, Baba, for all hypocrisy, Baba, for every promise given, Baba, but not fulfilled, and for all slander, Baba, and backbiting. Most especially also, Baba, we repent for every action, Baba, that has brought harm or ruin to others, Baba. For every word or deed, Baba, that has given others pain, Baba. And for every wish that pain should befall others, Baba. In your unbounded mercy, Baba, we ask you, Baba, to forgive us, Baba, oh God, most merciful, for all these sins committed by us, Baba, and to forgive us, Baba, for our constant failures, Baba, to think and speak and act according to your will, Baba. Beloved God, Baba, help us all, Baba, to love you more and more and more and more, Baba, and still yet more, Baba, till we become worthy, Baba, of union, Baba, with you, Baba. And help us all, Baba, to hold fast, Baba, to Baba's Daman, to your Daman, Baba, till the very end. I am not the body, Baba. I am not the mind, Baba. I am not this, Baba. I am not that, Baba. I am nothing but a living lie of the truth, Baba, which is me. And unless the lie is dead, the truth cannot be, Baba. And of course, the truth is. So may thy will be done, Baba. O perfect one, Baba. My will not prevail, Baba. It's of no avail, Baba, where union with thee is concerned, Baba. I'll toil and I'll strive, Baba, while I am alive, Baba, to love and obey, Baba, all night and all day, Baba, till union with thee, Baba, I have earned. Baba dear, we are fine, yet we need celestial wine, Baba. Wine that makes God out of swine, Baba. And in one case out of 9, Baba, makes one Kutab, perfect master who does shine, Baba, over the world of mine and thine, Baba. For it is the law of love divine, Baba, that we must wither, we must pine, Baba. We must suffer, but not whine, Baba. Speak no word and write no line, Baba, if we long for Valentine. So beloved Meher Baba, beloved Meher Baba, beloved Meher Baba, bless us all, Baba, so that in the stress and strain of our daily life, Baba, and the fluctuations of our mind, Baba, we learn to relax, Baba, wholly and wholeheartedly, Baba, and float, Baba, on your ocean of love, Baba, and call for your breath of joy, Baba, your wind of breeze of compassion, Baba, and your wind of strength, Baba, to flood and inundate every fiber of our body, Baba, every corner of our mind, Baba, and every space in our heart, Baba, to cleanse us of all impurity, Baba, and to make us worthy, Baba, of your love, Baba, of your obedience, Baba, of your service, Baba, and above all, of your pleasure, Baba. And dear Baba, please keep your nazar on all of us, each one of us here, and keep your loving glance on everyone in this world. And we'll end by saying your name. Meher, when you pray to Baba, pray that we might love him as he should be loved. And we'll end by saying Baba's name on behalf of the whole universe, that Baba's, the blessing of his name may bathe this meeting, this city, this country, this world, this universe. Meher, Meher Baba, Baba. Meher, Meher Baba, Baba. Meher, Meher Baba, Baba. Meher, Meher Baba, Baba. Meher, Meher Baba, 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 Baba. Avatar Meher Baba ki jai.
Thank you, Tony. That was beautiful. The last prayer, is that Adi's prayer?
Beloved Meher Baba, bless us all.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. And the rest is how I usually end. And sometimes I remember by name people in our lives, you know, my wife and my other daughter and our family and friends. And
Absolutely. I just wanted to share a picture of Dr. Harry Kenmore.
my favorite.
So he was a blind chiropractor, right?
Mhm.
And he worked on Baba after his Satara accident?
Yes. For
Okay.
60 days, I believe. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the thing is, what I would say about Harry is that, and I call him Harry now, but and then we just called him Dr. Kenmore. And I was 18. Was I 18? Yeah, I was 18 when I met him. Um, um, his occupation was a chiropractor, but his claim to Baba fame is that Baba called him his son, a chip off the old block, and said, you are, and stressed to him, which he didn't do with the other Mandali so much, but stressed to him that he understand and know that he was of Baba's innermost circle, that he was one of the intimate Mandali, that he had been with Baba as Buddha, as Jesus, as Muhammad, going back for ages, and he was now at the last step. He said, you are as close to me as Erich and Francis. You are in my inner circle. And like all of them, he was totally unique, and an enormous, an amazing sense of humor, such profound wisdom, and Baba functioned through him so powerfully in ways that were natural and sometimes a little unusual, but it always felt blissful because Baba's energy was in it. I have so many stories about him with things that he's shared.
So before we go on, we
Yes.
have two others who've joined. I just want to give them a quick second to say hello to you. Mona, and I believe the other one is Ian. But yeah, go ahead, Mona, if you want to turn on your video and say hello. We would love to say hello to you. Hi.
Hi, Tony. Hi, everybody. It was so nice to hear you, Tony. I think
Hi,
I've seen you at NPR singing so many times. It was so lovely.
And where are you from, Mona?
I'm from Bombay, India.
Oh, okay. So you're tuning in from there. Awesome. Thank you.
Jai Baba.
Jai Baba.
It's good to see you. You probably saw me at the Meher Pilgrim Center, because
Yeah.
we've never actually gotten to stay except during Amar Tithi 2006 at the Meher retreat.
At night, after the Amar Tithi, or when we were hanging out, we would sing, and it was so beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Rama, you want to go ahead?
Hi, I'm Rama. I'm Ayan's mom. He is unfortunately not able to join today, so I just wanted to join and hear you, Tony.
Yes, you
Hi,
get the
Rama.
privilege.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Jai Baba.
So I just want to ask everyone, how did the new way of saying prayers feel to you guys? Who wants to share their insight first?
I would just say it's not a new way of saying it. It's just my.
I know, no, but you know, like
It's
just,
like not for anyone else to say, now you should say it this way.
but it's something different, you know. Srinidhi, you want to say something?
Sure. The new way was different. I mean, like it was really nice to just say Baba on every single line, as if like in the prayers it doesn't say Baba anywhere except for in the last one, but this one it's like you're really speaking to him.
Yeah, it's a personalization, right, of the prayer. All right, anybody else wants to share before Tony go ahead, starts with his stories?
Yeah, I think I'd like to say, I love the way Tony said that. It was so beautiful because when he closed his eyes and he said this prayer, it was so heartfelt. You could feel that he was totally connected and one with God and Baba, and it just flew through his heart. It wasn't something, you read and say or you recite. It was very soulful, and that's how he is when he sings and he connects. When he connects, then everybody else feels it too. So I think that's so beautiful.
Yes, I feel the same way. I think it was just it was a different experience altogether for me, actually. So yeah, all right. Anyone else?
Same here. It is so good and it is so connected. The way how you are mentioning and it is so good. No words to explain, really. It has taken us somewhere.
I'm very grateful. It's a gift. Baba
Thank you,
gave
Baba.
yeah, I
So
think
close to Baba.
as we said on the phone, I think Baba
Especially
gave
the
this for this session.
independence prayer and everything is so good. Yeah.
Okay, Tony. I think if anyone else wants to say something, go ahead, raise their hands. I'll keep an eye out. Otherwise, I'd like to give Tony the floor. He has some wonderful stories to share. And, you know, we're all here to listen. And guys, at any time, please feel free to interject, ask any questions. As all you guys know, there's no, we're pretty informal. So, okay. Oh, sorry.
That prayer was very good. Tony, was good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're muted, Tony. Sorry. I don't know.
Yes,
what
I don't know
happened.
how it happened, but I'm unmuted now. Am I good? You can hear me? So, just about what everyone was saying. One thing that's not how, like I gave a little example of how I remember Harry saying the prayer. And of course mine is very different. And yet it's very inspired by the complete authenticity and connection with Baba that you felt when Harry said the prayer. And there's a story that I once read in an Awakener that Harry Kenmore happened to be in India with Baba. And Dr. Barucha and some other friend, I forget his name, were visiting with Baba for a few days. And they were in Mandley Hall. And Baba asked Harry to say the prayers, which he would do at the beginning of every Mandley Hall session, I believe. And Harry said the prayer, and he said it the way he said it. And when Baba went back to the house and they went outside of Mandley Hall, Barucha said to Kenmore, I wondered whether you were praying to God or fighting with him. And so the next time they were in Mandley Hall the next morning, and Baba asked Harry to say the prayers, he said, "Oh, Bhavardhanagar, the preserver and protector of all, you are without beginning." And Baba's getting this really disturbed look on his face, and then finally he says, "Harry, why have you given up your usual way of saying the prayer?" And Harry said, "Well, I did not want to disturb the auditory apparatus of our visitors." And Baba looked at Barucha, and Barucha said he would have rather that the earth had opened up and swallowed him at that moment from the look that Baba gave him. And Baba said, "Now you go and say the prayer the way you always say it." And he did, and Baba was very pleased and commented afterward, prayer must always be from the heart. For Harry, this is how he expresses it from the heart. And each one, when they say the prayer implicitly, should really try to connect with their heart and say it from the heart. So this method of saying it to Baba by name, it helps me do that. So I don't know. I don't want to be following like a checklist. So I'm just going to say, one thing. Here's one thing he said. He said that all qualities, whatever qualities that we have as human beings, courage, endurance, patience, commitment, they're all in God. Baba is the infinite ocean of infinite attributes, so that every quality exists in Baba. And Francis Brabazon in Stay with God says something similar, where he says, he talks about Jesus having a sense of humor in the Islamic version of Jesus's life. And he said, but of course he would have a sense of humor. If God did not have a sense of humor, we couldn't have a sense of humor. And so Kenmore said, if you feel, he told us, if you feel that you're lacking some quality, that there's some quality that you need, said, you can always go to Baba and ask him for that quality from his ocean of infinite attributes, and he will give it to you. And at the time, this is now, I was like 18. I really felt I was sorely lacking in a sense of humor. I just took everything very, very seriously. And my best friend at the time, a fellow named Chuck Magro, was like the embodiment of a sense of humor. He saw humor in things that most people would not get. I went through what I thought was a horrible experience years later. And when I told him, he started laughing so hysterically that I realized there was a funny side to it. And so back when I was 18, I taking Kenmore's words to heart, I asked Baba for a sense of humor. And I have been so grateful over the years to see how this sense of humor, this gift keeps expanding. But if you're shy, if you're timid, if you're insecure, if you're not gracious enough, whatever quality you might feel you're lacking, you can ask Baba for that, and he will give it to you, and it will grow throughout your lifetime. So that's something I thought was worth sharing.
So, Tony, do you think it would be a good idea to maybe ask the kids what they would like to ask Baba? Maybe one quality that.
Please, I mean, I shared it because of that, but please moderate that. Yes, please.
So Meher, can you think of something? And maybe this could be kind of like our New Year resolution, right? What do you think? What would you like to share? Maybe one quality that you don't have, but you want to ask Baba to help you with.
Yeah, but unlike a resolution, you're not doing anything but asking Baba for the quality and having the faith that he will give it to you, and you'll feel it. Yeah.
Yep. Go ahead, Meher.
Being smart.
Huh. Yeah.
You're already smart. But thank you for sharing. What about Srinidhi and Srinika?
I don't know. Well, do you have any? Okay, I guess I don't have good handwriting. Ask for that.
Okay. What about Srinika? Nothing? That's good. Maybe, you know what? It doesn't have to be today. Maybe you'll think of it like a week from today or later on.
And it's when you feel that you need it. When you notice in yourself something that you think you lack and that you need. If you don't care so much about your handwriting, I mean, you care, but if it doesn't mean that much to you, you're not going to ask Baba about that. And as for asking for intelligence, if you're already intelligent, the funny thing is, a lot of the things that we would ask for, we already have and don't know it. And so sometimes it's okay. It's because at least then you'll know. You know, and intelligence is not a quality so much, but as being able to understand things and grasp things and communicate what you know. Yeah, that's a gift you can ask for, and Baba will give it for sure.
Yeah. What about Sahana?
I got a phone call. I just wanted to know what you were doing because I got interrupted.
Oh, it's so much. It's just, in short, Harry said, as the infinite ocean of infinite attributes, if there's any quality you feel you lack or you need, you can go to Baba and ask for that quality from his infinite ocean of attributes, and he will give it to you. He said, because after all qualities that we have come from God. So you can ask him for those.
Tina, you want to ask Baba for any quality, perhaps, since we're sharing?
Yeah, you know, more faith, because I'm very freaked out about the coronavirus.
Yeah. Awesome. What about Sahana? I see you raised your hand.
I didn't raise my hand.
Oh, I thought maybe I got, but anyway, can you share what is a quality that you think maybe Baba can help you with?
I need to be more funny.
Or do you want to see the fun, like, you know, what, like sense of humor, maybe, is like Tony asked for?
I have a sense of humor,
No, but to see the sense of humor in every situation, that's different.
Oh, but just because whenever I see a joke, some people like think when I'm saying the joke, they don't even pay attention and they're like, huh? And it just gets kind of annoying. So
All right. What about Soham?
Mom, can you give me a sec? He's the dog is like crying. I need to.
That's okay. All right. What about Mona? Would you like to share?
More unconditional love towards everybody and myself.
That's a good one. Sahana, go ahead.
wait, Mom, after this, are we gonna do the things that were like the qualities that we have?
No, well, we're just talking about what we would like to ask Baba to help us with, anything. It doesn't have to be one. So we're just sharing. So, because sharing is always fun. Yeah? Okay. What about you, Rama? Anybody else wants to share?
I'll just jump in again to say not to feel concerned if you don't have anything, because really this sort of thing is very personal and it's very private. You can share about it. There's nothing. It's good to share, but it's when you're just alone with Baba that it's strictly between you and Baba. So one can share these things, but if there's nothing coming up to share, maybe Baba is holding it for you to just talk about with him.
If nobody else wants to share, then go ahead, Tony. It's all you.
Okay.
I want to say something to Shahana, if that's okay.
Sure.
Shahana, I think you're very sweet, cute, and funny.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, one other thing, I don't know if it's quite as practical as the other, but when he said, when you surrender to Baba, it's a single action. He said, you surrender with your whole being. He said, it's like the heart, which contracts its entire musculature in a single action. There's so many interconnected muscles that form the heart. But when the heart contracts, one doesn't go one way, the other go the other way. All together, they boom, 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 and they pump, the blood. And he said, when you surrender to Baba, it's like that. It's all of your heart at once. If you're partial about it, it's not really surrendering. You need to pump the blood. You kind of have to have your whole heart in it. And maybe I'll do a song now because this reminds me of something else.
That would be nice, Tony. I'd like to hear you sing.
Another thing he said, oh boy, I got the pages out of order. Now what am I gonna do? Just kidding. Where did I put the song? Well, I know it. He at one point he said that, here it is. He said that if you can completely surrender to Baba, describing the heart, a lot of us may be thinking, oh my God, I can't do that. But he said, if you can completely surrender to Baba, even for 1 second, you would realize him in an instant.
Wow.
And I was 18. And certainly at 18, you believe anything is possible. I didn't have all the reasons why this couldn't be true. And so I was in my room that night and I had a big Baba poster there. And I was just so focusing on Baba and focusing on and looking at Baba's eyes and trying to surrender my whole heart and completely surrender. And I almost felt like there was that connection happening. And then for a split second, I felt afraid. And it kind of stopped. And I wrote this song. Sorry, Elena, I have to move this so I don't hit you in the head. Here we go. excuse me. Burst of fear in the bliss of your name. Crying eyes hide themselves in shame. Could have given up the game. What keeps stopping me? Stopping me. Stopping me. Light of brightness shines on me. Living in less ecstasy. Coming down to set me free. What keeps stopping me? Stopping me. Stopping me. Empty me, fill me, let me live and just kill me, till your beauty overpowers me and showers me in love, in you, in love. Now you are fading away from my sight, yet only you remain. Meher Baba, in your name, what keeps stopping me? Stopping me, stopping me. Empty me, fill me, let me live and just kill me, till your beauty overpowers me and showers me in love, with you, in love. Now you are fading away from my sight, yet only you remain. Meher Baba, in your name, 'cause what keeps stopping me, stopping me, stopping me? What keeps stopping me, stopping me, stopping me? Me, just me. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It's okay to unmute now because I'm finished singing.
That was awesome. Thank you.
Beautiful, Tony.
What's that? Oh, thank you, Tina. So let's see.
Do you guys have any questions for Tony at all? Any one of you here? Sahana, go ahead.
Did you meet Baba?
Not in this lifetime. But and then really I didn't come to Baba. Baba came to me. I was wondering if I was going to tell how I came to Baba's story. And
I'd like to hear it.
It's a very, very long story. But what I realized, I can just tell the how I came to Baba part. There's a whole thing that connects to that. But I can just tell that part. And there's an answer to your question just at the end of this little part I'm going to tell. I was born in a Catholic, Italian-American Catholic family. I was a very religious kid, regular religious kid, you know, went to in catechism instruction class. And my father died when I was 9, which was a life-changing trauma for me. And it made me have to look in with myself as sort of, in a way, having to partly raise myself. But anyway, but I had a happy childhood apart from that. But there was big questions. What is life? What is death? What is all this about? And at some point I learned how to say the rosary. It's a Catholic prayer. And you say these beads and they're groups of 10. But for each session, you pick one time in the life of Jesus. And while you're saying the prayer by rote, you are visualizing that scene in Jesus's life and being there when it happened. And particularly, I remember seeing the crucifixion and being there and seeing Jesus and seeing as he's carrying the cross up the hill. And because of that prayer, I did feel a real connection with God. And when I had got confirmation, which is a Catholic ceremony where the Holy Spirit, which is Baba's spirit, is supposed to come down on you when the priest slaps you across the face, the bishop. And you're about 12, I guess. I don't know how old I was, maybe 11. But the thing is, I'm there going through it like rote stuff. You know, this is what they tell you to do. But when he slapped me, I felt this thing, this energy come. I went home and I told my mother, I said, Mom, when I got my confirmation, something really happened. And she said, well, something's supposed to happen. And I realized she didn't understand. But I knew that that had been God. So there was that connection. I'm skipping so much, but by 1968, you will learn in your history books at some point, it was the last year before Baba dropped his body, and the world was careening. It seemed like, even to me as a 15-year-old, it seemed like whatever it is that makes life life, and when you look around you, there's life, and there's a kind of an energy inside of it that makes life life. Whatever it is that makes life life seemed like it was like being sucked out, as if life itself was dying. And no one else understood, and I couldn't even say anything about it. But particularly at the end of 1968, I felt it, and I thought this could all crash like a dream crashing back into sleep, and no one would even know. And I'd look out my window. I was on the second floor, and I'd look out and see people, and I'd think about this. On January 31st, 1969, I went to sleep, and I had an experience. It started as a dream, but then it became something else. I was in this dream. I suddenly woke up, and it was as if there was an intuition, like, oh, I left the gas jet on before I went to bed. I better go down and check it. It was that sort of feeling, something urgent. And I looked out the window, and there were three men in heavy overcoats, and they looked like organized crime, mafia criminals, that sort of thing. One of them rented the basement apartment, but the three of them together looked scary. And they disappeared down the driveway into this rented basement apartment. Moment, baby. Moment, sweetheart. Huh? No, she's okay. So I was told when my father died, even though I was 9, all the adults said, I had a younger brother, said, now you're going to have to be the man of the house and look after your mother and little brother and protect the house, which is a sick thing to say to a 9-year-old.
No, poor Tony.
But I took it seriously, as you would at 9. And so now I'm 15, and I see these members of the underworld going into the house. So I ran downstairs to the first floor. I opened the door, ran down to the basement, and standing there in the hallway, I turned around, and this is where it stopped being a dream. This is where it became more vivid than anything that happens in real life. I mean, I'm looking at everything around me now, and in a way, Baba says, when you die, you know, and you relive your life experience, because the flesh isn't in the way, you see everything in its full intensity, which the flesh kind of veils. In this experience, what happened next, I felt like that. It was bigger than anything real, that it was more than that. There was a woman, I was just 15. I didn't know what it meant to be in love with anybody. And if I had thought about it, this woman was much older than I was at the time. But in the experience, we knew each other very well. She was standing there. The door to that apartment was slightly open behind her, where these criminals had gone. And it was someone I loved beyond measure, more than I ever did in waking life, anyone or anything. And it's and the love, just from eye to eye, there was so much love. And she reaches out her hand to take mine. And at the same time, I reach out to take hers. And it's like a moment out of the movies, you know? But suddenly something was pulling her into that room where those bad people were. And she wanted to stay, I wanted to stay, but there was nothing we could do to stop it. Something was pulling her into that room. And at the last minute, I looked down at our hands coming apart like that. And I was delirious. And her image seemed to streak like paint on a canvas. And just at that moment where it felt I was going to explode from inside, someone said something. Now I'm going to describe it. This happened like that, but it was as if someone, like all of this was happening in a little shoebox diorama, and I was a little character and she was a little character. And the person who spoke had been watching this, and out of compassion and love said something that would help. On the other hand, it seemed to come from deep, deep within me, a place I couldn't go, that it was so deep. And it seemed to come from everywhere around me. And it was a man's voice, a loving man's voice. And he said, and it's going to sound crazy, he said 303. And boom, big flash of light. And I'm back in bed. And the pillow is drenched. I guess I've been weeping in my sleep. And my lips are moving 303, 303, 303, 303. And I thought, what the heck was that? I looked at the clock and it was 1:45. So it wasn't like the radio had been on and the announcer said it's 303. No, it was 1:45 a.m. I went to the window. I looked down on the sidewalk to see and where these underworld guys were. There was no one there. I got out of my room. I ran down to the first floor. I ran down to the basement where this whole thing happened. And it was clear that no one had been there. The air was still and musty. I could hear the guy snoring from his apartment. I went back up to my bedroom and it was like, what happened? What was that? And I finally came to a very smart conclusion. I don't know what in me knew how to do this. I said, well, it's something that could not possibly have happened. It couldn't possibly have happened. On the other hand, it absolutely, definitely happened. And somehow I accepted both of those ideas at once and fell asleep. And I woke up the next morning and suddenly where it had felt like the world was dying, suddenly it felt life was back into life and it was streaming through everything. And I opened up the window. I didn't even play my guitar plugged in those days. It was a solid guitar. I opened the window. I'm playing the guitar. At some point about close to sunset, a fellow passing by who I didn't even really know except by face rang the bell, asked me to come down and you want to come out? And I said, okay. I was a recluse the prior 6 months. So, but anyway, I went out, we walked by the curb. He wanted to know if I'd like to jam with two friends of his, a drummer and another guitarist, which wound up being my first legitimate band. And he said, I'll come and get you tomorrow at 8 o'clock tomorrow. And I'll walk you, it's just around the corner. And while he was talking, I looked to the west and it took my breath away. The sky was filled with color. It was like, if you've seen the movie, The 10 Commandments, it was as if God had splashed the sky with color. And it was the most, and I wasn't someone who was moved by art or beautiful things, you know, but it was the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen. And I thought, am I going nuts? First, what happened last night and now this. And I asked my friend, I said, do you see that? And he said, yeah. I said, that's really something, isn't it? He said, yeah, it is. This was the day Baba dropped his body. And when I looked at my watch, it was 1:45 a.m. I later learned, much later, Baba dropped his body at 12:15 p.m. in India, which in New York was 1:45 a.m.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but what was this who was this woman and what was this 303? I woke up with a decision that I was going to find her, wherever she was. Maybe I thought she had a similar experience and would be looking for me, but whether or not, I had to find her. And as for the 303, I had the idea that when I met her, maybe she's been given the other piece that'll tell me what that 303 means. Now, this is the beginning of a very long movie, and I'm not going to give you the whole movie, but just my coming to Baba part. That week, I saw Rolling Stone magazine, and there was an article, Meher Baba dies silent 43 years. And there was a black and white blurry photo of Baba. And he had his hair, it was here, but it looked like an earring. And I thought, to find this woman, to fulfill this quest, I'm going to have to think different ways, and I'm going to have to open up to new ways and trust my intuition. And so I looked at this picture to say, who is this person? What do I feel? And I saw him as the leader of a band of gypsies traveling throughout Europe, presumably. And I was so thrilled, and I could picture the music and the love in the air. And again, a crazy thing, I almost jumped up. I was a few blocks from LaGuardia Airport. I was thinking, let me get to LaGuardia Airport. They have pamphlets there. I'll find out where this guy is, and I'll go and join him. And then I looked at the headline again, and it said, Meher Baba dies. So, and I, oh, yeah. And then I'm thinking, what are you, crazy? What are you thinking? And I turned it and forgot all about it. There was a big search that whole year. I changed everything about myself, anything. I was willing to risk anything. At some point in the summer, when some guys, this was LSD and drugs were very big at that time, and a kind of drug evangelist was on the corner, and he was saying, this drug will give you insight and awareness. And I had decided those were the two qualities I needed to fulfill this quest. So I tried it, and I did a lot of it, but it didn't help. It didn't help. And by the end of the year, I was about to give up. And but in the meanwhile, I learned a lot. I learned about reincarnation, about the eternal Christ, the avatar, and all of it. But there was nothing else I could do. I couldn't seem to find this person or what this meant. And just over a year later, I walked onto the Queens College campus, and I saw, where I was going to school, a big poster and a blue sketch of Meher Baba's face. And it said, Avatar Meher Baba Public Birthday Celebration, Barbizon Plaza. And I didn't know who or what he was, but I knew I had to get there. And I tried everything to get there. I thought it was going to be like a hippie wine and cheese, the real hippies, like the real peace and love people were going to be there. Somehow that's what. But I couldn't find Barbizon Plaza. I looked for, Queensboro Plaza, Grand Army Plaza, all these plazas. It happened to be the name of a hotel. So I missed it. But I got to school that Tuesday. 1 second, baby. 1 second, baby. And I wound up in a class, underground university class on Eastern mysticism. And I sat down, and he had the podium, the teacher, another student on the ground. He's sitting cross-legged. On the front is Baba's picture, the Don't Worry, Be Happy card, the big one. But I didn't see it. It was like there was a veil over it until he started to speak. I had given up I had given up my quest. When I couldn't find the Barbizon Plaza, it was like, I can't do this. I can't find her. I can't find what that word means. But now, 3 days later, he says, I usually give these talks on some aspect of Eastern mysticism or philosophy. But today, I want to share the amazing experience I had this weekend when I attended the public birthday celebration for Avatar Meher Baba. And it was as if Baba pulled back the veil, and Baba was suddenly light streaming out of his face and beaming at me while this fellow is saying, Baba, he's the avatar, he was Jesus, he was Buddha, he was Muhammad, and so on. But I knew all that. I recognized Baba. At that moment then, I recognized Baba. And I knew that somehow he had given me that experience. And the way I understood it at the time was because how do you awaken love in a man but through a woman usually? So he had given me this vision to awaken enough love so I would recognize the incarnation of love when I saw him. Now, in the full story, 10 years later, that woman shows up and the drama that she went through actually happened. And it was very important for my relationship with Baba. 303 had a very specific meaning. But I gave up on that at the time. Right away, I was telling everyone about Baba. And this, I'm sorry it took so long, Sahana, to get to your question. But I was telling everyone. And my mother sloughed it off. And, you know, some people were interested. That I said, but Jesus, that you've been going to church for all these years, has been here for the last 75 years. And one day, she said to me, and my mother was an emotional person more than a rational. She wasn't irrational, but she was more led by feelings than intellect. But she said something very intelligent. She said, if he is that, why should you know? Why? And then she added, why wouldn't the Pope know? Well, I knew why the Pope would know because the religion has got twisted and perverted and blah, 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 blah. But I went up to bed and that question stayed with me. Why should I know? Of all, I do know Baba is God in human form. I know it. I know it better than I know my own name. But how is it that I know? And all these people, I'm telling them, and they're not seeing that, which I see. And I went to sleep and I had a dream. And Baba was in it. And Baba said, when I appear in your dream, it's not a dream, but a vision. This is almost the end. I'm sorry if this has gotten boring. So in the dream, I'm going through like a time tunnel and I'm spinning, and I land on the earth. And I'm back in what I was later to match up through the pictures in the God-Man, the book, The God-Man, was 1924 in Quetta, India. And I'm walking, I land on the ground and I'm walking with Baba on my right. And Baba's walking fast and I'm walking with him and we're talking. And I turn to Baba and I say, but Baba, what am I doing here in the past? And Baba says to me, it's just that it was your turn. And with that, the same flash of light from January 31st. And it was, I realized later, the same voice. So while I didn't meet Baba in this incarnation, he let me know early on that I had been with him before. So it's a big, long, Kenmore was, I got that from Kenmore. He was really good on enormous answers to simple questions, but they carried something worthwhile. I hope this carries something worthwhile.
That's an awesome story. I mean,
yeah, and
that's
you should
pretty
hear the
cool.
rest. But this much took so long. So,
but I always feel like, and you know, I think Nosh has also said it a few times, if not. But you know, like we all have that connection with Baba from different lives. We just don't know it. You know, those of us who haven't seen him in this life, right? So Sahana, does that answer your question? We can't see you.
but you have lovely eyebrows.
Tony, what's 303? Did I miss it?
No, you didn't. I'm actually writing, I think what's going to be like a 10, 12 episode TV story. It's a long story. It comes back at the very end. It had a very specific meaning.
I remember when you told the story at Baba House, you said you couldn't tell us what 303 was. And
because it won't have meaning until you know the characters and the storyline that comes in later. I will say it had to do, that woman was definitely part of it. And that was symbolically what happened to her that year that I was witness to, connected with. And it involved me leaving a group I had become part of, a Baba group after Kenmore died, with a person who was a bad person, who was just a bad person. And we didn't know that. We thought she'd met Baba, but she tried to tell people that she knew what Baba wanted them to do. And she had her own psychological problems.
Yeah, she said I should scrub her bathroom floors till the sponge disintegrated.
Wow. Well, anyway, when I left that group, I felt I had perhaps betrayed Baba, let Baba down, but I had to leave. It was no longer safe being there. And I was worried, had I let Baba down, had I, and I wrote a letter to Erich. All right, so you're going to get the 303. So I wrote a letter to Erich, 27 typewritten pages. His response is in letters from the Mandali. And this person had said to me, Baba doesn't even know you exist. And that was not the letter I wrote to him, but it was in the letter. And that's the thing he picked up on. He said, my dear Tony, know well that Baba not only knows you exist, he knows you much before you existed. And he said some other things that were very helpful, but it still didn't answer my question, because she used to say, you can't trust the Mandali. They've been instructed not to tell the Westerners the truth about stuff. She was crazy. But it was in my mind. So I had to have it from Baba. And at some point I did meet this woman, and I realized it had been the woman I had been seeking back in 1969. And so I pressed her. I was now in the process of separating from this group, and but I ran into her and we went for coffee, and I pressed her for the name of her favorite poet. There's a whole reason why. And she said Emily Dickinson. And suddenly I got chills, bad chills. And she said, bundle up, go home, lay down, put under the blankets. And I did. And she went, and I'm lying there tossing, turning. And suddenly I shot out of bed and pulled down the Norton Anthology of Poetry. I was an English major, studied the poets. I had marked this page. It was by Emily Dickinson. She was not well known in her lifetime. Only after she died did they begin to collect her poems and realize she had been a great poet. And she never titled them. They usually were just 12 short lines. And each time they'd find a new poem, they'd give a number to it. The first one was 1. The second one they found was 2. One of the most famous of her poems is simply known as 303. I can't believe I'm giving away the whole punchline of the story without the great sort of love story and everything. But anyway, I read it. The name of the group was the Society for Avatar Mayor Baba, capital S. And Baba had helped set it up. When Kemmer was alive, it was a beautiful thing. But the poem begins, I'm desperate. Have I let you down, Baba? Have I betrayed you? Have I done you wrong? Am I falling short? The poem is, the soul selects her own society with a capital S, then shuts the door. To her divine majority. That's like when you have a majority, it's law. So the soul has divine majority. The soul selects her own society, then shuts the door to her divine majority, present no more. And it was Baba's reassurance directly. You're with me. There's more lines that connect. And nothing can change that. And you haven't made a mistake. Your soul is telling you to get out of there. And you're doing the right thing. And I needed that assurance from Baba, or I don't know what would have happened for my relationship with Baba. I did see 1 or 2 people lose Baba, in quotes, because of the way this woman had treated them. And they associated Baba with her. And so thought, I once said, I can't follow Mayor Baba because I know God loves me. Well, of course Baba loves you, but you decided to believe that this crazy psychotic was channeling Baba. And you see this in the world today. You see this in cult groups, and you see it to some degree in fundamentalist groups in India, here in America, all over, where they lose the message. And she had almost cut me off from Baba, and I wouldn't let it happen. And then I insisted Baba had to let me know directly. So the moment he dropped his body, glancing down 12 years in advance, gave me the word I was going to need to keep my relationship with him whole.
So essentially, the moral of the story is listen to your inner voice, right?
Yeah, listen to Baba, trust Baba.
Yeah.
But it can be tricky, especially when you're younger. you can think you're doing the right thing and you're not. You could, there were many wonderful things in the experience, but there's also another piece to the story. There was a prayer that Baba granted, and I only realized this after the whole thing was over, that instead of a situation I might have been in my life, he changed it so I would live out that suffering through this group. So there's another, the story is too complicated to go, but there's that other dimension. He had answered a prayer to let me do that rather than maybe disobeying him. Yeah.
So let me open it up to any of the guys. You guys have any questions?
Did it seem interesting or boring, or I'm so unsure when I tell this story, especially you guys, because some of this relates to stuff that's, you go through when you're a little bit older. But did it seem like a good movie? Yeah, it seemed like a good movie. Okay.
Yeah.
Then the rest you could see when the movie's made.
So we have a little more time left. I would love to go around and get everyone's input with Tony. Tony, you are most welcome to come back next week, if you please. Maybe we can have a couple more interesting stories about Harry Kenmore and your time with the Mandali, right?
I have
maybe
songs. I did like 5, so.
So what did you guys think? Anyone want to share their thoughts? Wow, we have a quiet group over here. Go ahead, Tina.
I was also in the society, but for a much shorter time than Tony. I'm running my Roomba. Is it making a lot of noise? No, you don't hear it. Okay. Yeah, I went to India with the society, and that was, I think, 72. And I witnessed this woman physically attacking someone outside of the samadhi and having him locked up in a hotel room for the rest of the trip. And I just thought, there's something wrong, deeply wrong with this. And I don't want to be a part of it. And I really am very grateful I witnessed that, because I left the society right when I got back to New York. And, I had talked to Erich about it, because Anna Rosa was trying to get me to give up being an actor. And, she said, don't talk to them, don't interact with them in any way, because if they find out you're an actor, they'll throw you out on your ass. And so I was hiding out. And then just as I was walking to the bus on the last day, Erich calls to me, "Oh, miss, I did not meet you. What is your name?" I said, "Tina." And then he goes, "Oh, nice. And what do you do?" And I started to cry. I said, I know you're going to hate me for this, but I'm an actor. And he's like, "Oh, very, very nice. And Baba loves actors." I was like, "But Anna Rosa said Baba hated actors." He's like, no. Baba had a theater company before he became the avatar. And I said, "But Anna Rosa said Baba hated actors and you'd throw me out on my ass." And he goes like this: "Every family has a crazy relative."
Well, it was great having both of you here share perspective. We really do look forward to having more of this. Do you guys want to share something? The kids, let's go around. Let's talk about how you felt about the prayers and the stories and anything else that you're looking forward to. Meher, go ahead. You look like we can grab you through the camera any second. No? You being shy now?
I'm wondering, did the story give rise to any troubling thoughts in anyone? Because if it did, maybe I can speak to that. It's possible. It certainly gave rise to troubling thoughts in me when I was living through it. No. Okay.
Wait, did you call me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. The prayers and the stories were really powerful. Like it affected our like inner feelings about Baba.
Nice. Wow. Thank you, Baba.
Yeah, thank you.
Baba. Feedback.
What about Srinidhi? Do you have anything to share?
I don't know. It was really interesting. Like the story, just like mostly when my dad tells stories, I just get bored, but it wasn't boring.
Oh, I'm so happy. I was afraid it was going to be boring.
But I guess it's for me, I felt like we get messages that sometimes we don't pay attention, and then sometimes months or years later, those questions get answered. Just listening to your story kind of reminded me of that in so many ways. And I always feel like, whoever this person was kind of, you always have that one person who triggers certain things that makes you really look within, right? And to you, or sometimes you have to make a change in life just because of that person, but that person is also part of the Baba's divine game where they're doing their part so you can do yours next. So I think that's something that I've learned recently. That doesn't mean I don't react to it, but when you think about it after the fact, you're like, oh, actually, I should really give that person some credit, so that I can make a change.
And there are other factors. Again, part of the wider story, around the time before Kenmore died, I fell in love with someone who I met at the meetings. I mean, head over heels, completely through and through. I thought and within a short time, it ended, and with her marrying someone else. And I was like, okay, I can deal with this. 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 And I suppressed all of the feelings that I had. And that suppression closed down the level of awareness I would have needed to realize that after Kenmore died, this person was doing things that I didn't want to be around because I was so busy protecting myself. Another little Kenmore story about that. He would look around, he would give a talk and he'd be looking around the room, although he was blind. And sometimes he'd look right at you and speak to something in your life, and his eyes then would resume. And towards the end, I was sitting there. It was pretty full room. And he's talking about something or other, and he looks directly at me at the time that I am trying to suppress my feelings about this girlfriend who was marrying someone else. I didn't tell anyone about it. I didn't tell him. He looked at me and he said, now, if someone should appropriate something or someone that you wanted to appropriate for yourself, you will experience jealousy. And I'm going, and I wasn't literally doing that, but internally I was going, no, I'm not, no. And because you see, you are allowed, you become attached. And when that attachment is taken away from you, you will very much likely experience jealousy. And I'm going, no. I mean, I didn't want to hear it. And he wouldn't take his eyes off of me and he wouldn't change the subject. And finally, it was like he had me pinned to the ground. And I finally said, okay, I admit it. Yes, jealousy. And he continued looking around the rest of the room and continued with the rest of the talk. No one else would have known he had just spoken to me. And it was Baba through Harry. It was definitely Baba helping me, at least to that extent, to own my feelings. If I had owned them all the way, like I say, I would have probably had the ability to be aware of what was going on in that group much sooner.
That's amazing. So before we, branch off, because I know there's another program coming up soon. Tony, do you want to share how, like, especially with Harry Kenmore, right? Because he went blind at the age of 16,
Yes,
something like that, right?
I don't know as much about that, but I'm wondering if I can end with a song.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I just think it's incredible that someone who couldn't see did so much in his life, and
We can talk again. I do have pages of notes I didn't even get to. This was a song I had written for someone who was in my life, and I recorded it at a studio at Myrtle Beach. And when I got home to listen to the tape to the cabin in the center, I realized I looked at Baba's picture, and I thought I wrote it about this woman, but it was actually Baba singing to me, singing to each one of us, and it's called The Perfect Mirror. My love, there's a light that shines in you that you may have never seen, but no one else with eyes can miss it. It's got such a lustrous sheen. The love you've seen shining in my eyes was only reflecting that glorious light. If you let me be your perfect mirror, everything's gonna be all right. My love, there's a love that flows from you that heals everyone around, but you may have never heard its music because it sings without a sound. The sweetness that you drew from me was only fair exchange. If you let me be your other ears, everything is gonna change. Darkness is only a dreaming, so love, let's not make it real. Confusion is only a seeming, let it go and let love heal. My love, there's a will that shows in you to live in truth alone. It brings to other minds the light to take the journey home. You may not understand it all, but it leads you on your way. If you let me live that will with you, everything's gonna be okay. La 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 la. Darkness is only a dreaming, so love, let's not make it real. Confusion is only a seeming, let it go and let love heal. My love, there's a light that shines in you that you may have never seen, but no one else with eyes can miss it. It's got such a lustrous sheen. The love you've seen shining in my eyes was only reflecting that glorious thing. If you let me be your perfect mirror, everything's gonna be all right. 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 Jai Baba.
Jai Baba, what a beautiful song. Thank you, Tony.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the invitation. Thank you, Baba. I would never have done something like this on my own. So thank you so much.
Yeah, that was great, Tony. I really enjoyed your sharing.
And thank you all. It's really nice. I I tried to watch some of the tween meetings that happened in the past, so I recognize you all a lot more, but it's really nice to get to meet you now.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much. And we'll let Meher Prasad take over for the effort and grace, and wonderful to see everyone. And, Happy New Year to everyone.
Happy New Year.
Jai
And happy
Baba.
Easy, almost around the corner.
That's right. All right, guys, we'll see you next week. Jai Baba.
Jai Baba.
Baba Ki.
Bye.
Jai Baba.
Bye, Jai Baba.
Hey, Baba. Hey, Baba, everyone.
Jai Baba.
Hey, Baba.
Tony, it was so awesome.